my god, don't say that. Yeah, I haven't heard that one in like an incredibly long time.
Basically rights that, like, living in Australia, you have. And a lot of it bases around, you know, the fact that a lot of companies do shady shit. I do have a piece of paper. I'm literally reading off, like, looking at my course notes.
Oh wow, that's great.
So,
awesome.
So basically, a lot of the examples we'll look at relate to companies doing shady shit and not being allowed to do that because you have guarantees that they, no matter what they make you sign, they cannot take away. Or also things like, you know, shady advertising practices, and, you know, what the consumer will believe and what is a consumer, things like that. As long as you are the end point of a product. So an example would be if you buy, you know, some flour just to bake at home and make bread, like if you make a cake at home, the things you make that cake with, you're a consumer. And so if one of them was, you know, poisoned, and so if one of them was like poisoned,
I'm using my calculator, sorry.
Shut up.
You would be covered under consumer law. However, if you were a baker and you bought things to make a cake for your business, that's business law. That's a different thing. So as long as you're not, you know, buying things to then turn into something.
I got stuck in the wall.
No, it's all right. It's all right, mate. So as long as you're, you know, not buying the thing to turn into another thing or buying it for a business. So if it was $110,000 of, say, lecterns or like projectors, or, you know, printers or something like that, you couldn't really argue that that's just a normal household good or a domestic good, or, you know, like a cleaning supply or something like that. So then, because it's only something that a business could, you know, be interested in, that's business law.
What's going on, mate? Why are you looking that? Why are you facing this way?
You go,
could you put down?
You can press and make a check.
What the fuck? Your legs are like bent backwards. No, it's okay. You don't need to, you can just leave it on the floor. Just leave it on the road. Okay.
There you go. And now
I knew someone would go to take it to Parsley. People love women.
Simps.
Does it matter what you sell? Like, for example, like cocaine, does it fall under consumer law?
No, unfortunately, I don't believe illegal goods fall under consumer law.
What about child
So
porn?
illegal goods don't.
So you can't tax heroin.
Assassin's Creed's Blade, but it's awesome.
Well, you're supposed. So that's the funny thing. So even though they fall out of legal jurisdiction, for some reason the tax office still wants you to declare illegally acquired funds. They actually say like, you're supposed to like put things like that on your tax. I don't know.
So
it's a weird thing.
So if you're making your tax right, you have to legally put down the manufacturing and selling that.
Yeah, and so that's one of the things that can make it even worse if you were to say eventually get caught. They'd say, well, if you dealt over this period and you didn't declare it on your tax, you then owe that much as well. You're then in for that much tax evasion as well as drug dealing.
So no matter what, you're a tax evader if you're a drug dealer.
Pretty much.
That's great.
And that's just one of the ways that they unnecessarily like double down on drug offenses.
If you bullshit your way like in a tax thing, like for example, you're selling meth, but you put down that you're selling something illegal, would that still like become as a tax invasion?
And that's what money laundering is for. What was your question, Lloyd?
Who would win in a fight, a business or a consumer?
It depends. It really, the main thing that goes into sort of defects where a lot of this goes to cover.
But what if the consumer had a knife?
Consumer law will cover. The consumer would probably win, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so a few examples are
Yep, go ahead.
A while ago. Hello, just coming in on the back end.
KFC, Lloyd, how's it going, mate?
Hello, Oinker. We're learning about Australian consumer laws.
Take a seat.
Yeah, take a seat.
You're just on the back end of it.
Australian consumer laws.
If you come into an issue, there is a fantastic tool called Resolve a Problem from the ACL, the Australian Consumer. Hang on. I literally wrote it down in my notebook. Give me a second. There's literally a website where it will be a yes and no quiz. It's Resolve a Problem by the ACL or ACCC.
A teacher and you're googling shit. How does that make you a teacher?
man.
How are you a student if you're so loud? You're not committing any sillies here, are you?
I have found this.
Oh, you found it. You
I
liar.
found it in the water.
No, you didn't. You made that. In the ocean.
It's a mind of its own.
That poor thing just wants to be set free. Put it back in the ocean where it belongs. Bye!